Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Mandem Football. Glad to see y'all here and listening. And because today was an unreal day in the football world, right? We witnessed a game today that took place in the Premier League. Big Giants going at it. Tottenham 4, Manchester City 0. Yes, that is the truth. That is what went down today. I watched it unfold in front of my eyes. And are Manchester City in a crisis? Are Manchester City going through something that we have no idea? Honestly, the first thing I need to get off my chest is I was shocked, right? This scoreline, this match shocked me. Going into the game, I expected Manchester City to win the game because it's Manchester City, but also let's not forget that Tottenham had to win at some point, whether it be against Manchester City or someone. Tottenham needed to win because they have been poor and inconsistent throughout the season, and Tottenham needed to prove something. They needed to show that, listen, Big Ange Postecoglou, he is the man that needs to stay in for Tottenham, because who knows where Tottenham's going to go from here without Ange, if he's to go at some point. And I mean, talk about a statement. A statement against the best team arguably in the world. I mean, surely the Premier League, they won it 4 times in a row. But today, wow. I mean, first things first, before I even get into Manchester City, well done to Tottenham Hotspur. Really and truly, well done to Tottenham Hotspur. They are absolutely impressive today. I thought a few players in particular were just excellent. Kulusevski, wow. Kulusevski in that position that he's playing as that sort of half space number 10. I mean, he is a right winger. Let's not forget about that. But when he's in that half space and he's able to put in a cross and deliver for James Maddison, I mean, that first goal for James Maddison was just remarkable. It really was. That was all Kulusevski. James Maddison just had to get underneath the ball and just pass it into the net. And that's exactly what he did. And it came out of nowhere as well. That's how much of a good cross it was. The second goal, the link-up play between Son and James Maddison. I mean, they are definitely two of amongst the best duos and partnerships in the Premier League. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne when they're just linking up and playing really well together. That chemistry, Saka and Martin Odegaard for Arsenal. You know, they just have such great chemistry between the two of them, and they were excellent today. I thought Son on the left-hand side was brilliant. He took on his man so well. He took on Guardiola very well. I mean, one-on-one, you cannot have Son one-on-one. You have to back your man if you're a defender. You have to back yourself if you're going to play against someone like Son. I mean, honestly, he was excellent today. And James Maddison was brilliant. James Maddison was absolutely superb. And the 2 goals scored for him were excellent. That doink over Ederson's head, I was never expecting that. I mean, the game was just so turned on its head. And, you know, you would think for Manchester City that, 2-0 down, it's halftime at the Etihad, 45 minutes left, they can come back. If you're going to do it against someone, it's going to be against Spurs. Spurs are capable of, going 2-0 up and losing it 2-0. They did it against Brighton, right? So we can't forget about these things. But, as I'm watching the game, I'm thinking, okay, well, it's the 50th minute. I don't see anything. It's the 60th minute. I don't see anything. Not to mention that they had went 3-0 down around the 50th minute anyways. So, if they were going to come back, it had to be around that time. And they absolutely just capitulated. And, for Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson to come off the bench, and Timo Werner especially, that run that he made, to play that through to Brennan Johnson at the end was terrific. That 4th goal, that was just the icing on the cake right there. And we see these results, we see these performances, we see these sort of score lines against the biggest teams. I mean, the El Clasico was a big one. Barcelona against Real Madrid. 4-0 Barcelona at the Bernabeu. It's unreal. But this is no joke for Manchester City. I am being completely dead serious. This is a no joke for Manchester City. This isn't something where you can look and go, oh, well, they're going to figure it out and they're going to come back swinging later on the season. I'm telling you this right now. If they don't figure this out now, it's going to be a rough season for Manchester City, because this is worse than what I expected from City. And this is worse than what they expected, right? And, I've seen poor teams play. That was poor from one of the best teams, elite teams in the world, against Tottenham Hotspur. That doesn't fly if you're a team like Manchester City. I mean, there are a lot of elite teams out there, but they are not going to allow themselves to lose like that. So it is what it is, but it wasn't a coincidence. If you really pay attention to how the game was played, it's not a coincidence at all. It's actually funny because Manchester City almost played like Spurs. They almost played like Spurs. They've been playing kind of like Spurs, that high line at the back that everybody gets on Big Ange and Tottenham on with, because they have such a high line in defense. But Manchester City are kind of doing the same thing. It seems like Manchester City want the ball at all times, or else they lose it in a dangerous area, towards the halfway line. They are done. They're gone, because all you have to do is just play it to someone that has the pace, just like, when Victor Gyökeres was playing with Sporting and they played it through to him. That's all they need to do. All they need to do is just play it to someone with the pace who can take on a man, that has no problem taking on a man, and it's the keeper, it's one-on-one, that's it. It's over. And that's the honest truth. And we've been seeing this throughout the season. West Ham had it. They just didn't put away their chances. Sporting, they lost 4-1. They played many teams like that. And they were doing that around last season as well. They were doing that around last season as well, where they were getting hit on the counterattack, but teams did not find a way to score somehow. I don't know. Teams did not put away their chances against Manchester City, and it's not a coincidence that Spurs won in the fashion that they did today, right? Enough times, if you pay attention closely with the consistent patterns of play against Manchester City, you'll see how Manchester City are going to get scored on. You're going to see how these teams get scored on over and over. It's just a matter of time till a team like Tottenham Hotspur finish their chances against them. It doesn't have to be really anybody. It can be anyone. It could be Liverpool. They got to play Liverpool next week. They got to play Liverpool next week, and they have Cody Gakpo. They've got Salah. They've got Darwin Nunez. They got Luis Diaz. They got so many players that can punish them. I mean, I think they're going to be playing at the Anfield if I'm corrected, but it's going to be a rough week for them if they don't fix what they're doing, Manchester City. And this game was not decided because of Rodri. Let's be completely real with that. I'm going to end that argument right now. Rodri was not the reason why they lost the game today. Rodri, if you put him in, they would have lost anyways, because Rodri by himself cannot stop that, non-existence in the defense today. They're just not going to stop it. I think if Rodri was playing, they probably would have been set up differently, which is understandable. But no Rodri, no Kovacic, and honestly, just being so non-existent in the back and defense, someone's going to score against you. Someone is going to punish you. And I think it's a matter of a chance to back that team to not score against Manchester City. I think that's what Pep was really thinking. But not with teams like Tottenham, where they have a plethora of attacking fast counter-attacking players and transitional players like Son and Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner, who surprised me. and so many other players that they had today. It was, and Kulusevski, unreal, absolutely magnificent. 5 games lost for Manchester City. Where do they go from here? All they need to do is just win their next game. Win their next game, because 5, it can be 6. I really can see 6 happening, and it's not looking good for them right now. It's not looking good. And assuming Liverpool are going to win tomorrow against Southampton, you cannot say that Liverpool are definitely now licking their lips and thinking, oh, this can really be us. Arsenal is also in the picture as well. Arsenal had a great game against Nottingham Forest. They were excellent. 3-0 to them. So they're looking at it and thinking, oh, well, now we're 1 point behind. And Chelsea are in the mix as well. They're ahead of Arsenal on goal difference. So anything can happen. Today was an absolutely shocking game. And I must say, I'm stunned, just like you guys are. Absolutely stunned. And a lot of things need to be done with Manchester City and how they move forward. And Pep has a lot of things he needs to get off his chest. I can just tell, because he looked like he was going to have a heart attack on the bench. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. That's the video for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night and peace.